Hi, good evening. It's the Jon Gaunt Show. Two-tier Britain, the elite versus the people. This is where you get to have your say about the state of our nation. What a mess we're in. Let's face it, Britain is broken, split into two nations. The elite who want to rule us, and the rest of us, the plebs, who literally pay for everything but are ignored. I'm Jon Gaunt, and tonight I'm exposing the truth about two-tier Britain under two-tier Keir under no idea Keir. Keir Starmer has wrecked this country within 12 months. Do you agree? So the questions I'm going to be asking is this. Does the government, or any government to be fair, ever really care about us, the ordinary people, as Jarvis Cocker would call us? Why are we constantly told to feel ashamed of our flag, our culture, and our history? I'm proud of all of those, but somehow we're not meant to be. They're going to spend another 800 million pounds to stop the boats. Or is it euros? Because we're mostly giving it to France. They want to smash the gangs. They want to fix illegal migration. Starmer hasn't got a clue. He may as well just take that money and, just like the illegals, chuck it into the channel, because it isn't going to make a blind bit of difference. Today, he's put up loads of videos on Facebook and on Twitter saying that he's on top of the problem. He's had his spokespeople out saying he's on top of the problem. But the blindingly obvious is he isn't. He's playing a Russian roulette with our daughters, our children, our wives' lives. Look at what's been happening in Nuneaton. Look at it. It's a disgrace. Has he addressed the nation? Did he go to Nuneaton? Did useless Yvette Cooper go? No, she's too busy having a soft interview on GMTV, or not her, one of the other cabinet members with her husband, Ed Balls. It's a joke. They're taking the mickey out of us. Let me ask you another question. Do the freeloaders, the feral, the feckless, the newly arrived foreigners and special interest groups get treated better than us, the decent silent majority, the tax-paying working man and woman? And then I've also got to talk about the BBC today. I cannot believe BBC local radio in Coventry, they covered Nuneaton. They didn't mention the Nuneaton scandal at all yesterday, nor did national TV. Today, they mentioned it eventually, but made sure they didn't mention ethnicity, which is surely the core of the story. Well, apart from the vicious sexual assault, of course. Why are they not talking about the agenda that we're talking about? I'll tell you why, because the BBC is stuffed full of woke warriors, tofu-eating twats, Guardian-reading idiots. That's why. So today, they have at last spoken about it. I watched the 1 o'clock news, and I'm sure I watched it earlier, and there was a video. They were talking about this 100 million and basically saying it's a wonderful thing. It'll make a big difference. Absolute BS. They're like the propaganda arm of the government. They are Pravda, or whatever they're called in North Korea. Whilst they were saying this on the news, they played a film, and it was unbelievable. This film was obviously on the beaches at Dover or Calais, and getting into the inflatable was lots of people, probably more than 80, so Yvette won't like that, more than 80 getting into there. But do you know what? For the first time ever, there were women, there were children, there were little babies in their mum's arms. It was truly a horrid thing to say, because you don't want those people to be putting their lives at risk. And then I thought, hold on a minute. How come they've got one clip where the uber liberals and Starmer can say, well, it's children, it's women, it's wives, it's mothers, it's daughters. It's not just fighting young men. And then I realised it was pure propaganda. They'd managed to find one clip. I was fuming. And then I watched it at 1 o'clock, and they'd obviously been given a bollocking because they put a date stamp on the video. And the date stamp on the video was May 2025, 2 months ago. So they've had this bit of film. Are you telling me there aren't any other bits of film of the illegal migrants getting into boats? Of course they are. The BBC was singing the tune of the government. It was an absolute disgrace. I carried on watching it because, at 1:30, they then go to the regional news, Midlands Today. I've got friends who work on that programme. I won't be talking to them again. I saw that at 1:30. They didn't mention Nuneaton once. So let's look at this again. An alleged crime that has shocked the whole nation. I got a massive reaction to my broadcast. I did an extra one yesterday, by the way. If you've missed it, try and look at it after this, before they ban it, because I think that's going to happen as well. What happened was at 1:30, they didn't even mention it on Midlands Today, the regional news show. Whether they're going to tonight at 6:30, I don't know. What I'm saying is the news was being massaged more than a fat businessman in Bangkok. That's what was going on. And it was almost as sick and as sordid as going to one of those filthy massage parlours. But let me tell you, there's no happy ending for us. The uber liberals in the BBC and in the Labour government will be loving it. Nice bit of propaganda, doubles all round. But it's a lie. It's a lie. Likewise, the protests that have been happening up and down the country, they've hardly reported on them. Oh, I must just say, the BBC did talk about the trouble at Canary Wharf, and they blamed it on the women, not the Antifa mob who turned up. So my questions, well, just one of the questions tonight, why does the BBC that you have to pay for or you go to prison ignore voices like yours and mine? I worked for the BBC for years in a freelance capacity. I was proud to work for them. I wouldn't be proud to work for them now. They are a propaganda outfit for the government of the day. It's time to scrap the licence fee, and it's time to cut the BBC down to size. So, do the government care about us, the ordinary people? Let me have your views. Why do they make us, or try to make us, ashamed of our flag, our culture, our history? Will another £800 million smash the boats, smash the gangs, fix illegal migration? About as much use as a chocolate fireguard. And do the feckless, the freeloaders, the feral, and the newly arrived foreigners and special interest groups, Gaza, this for that and that for that, do they get better treated than the decent working taxpayer? Why does the BBC ignore voices like yours? They don't do your news agenda, but they're there when it's time to call you far-right extremists and echo Starmer. And here's the final question. If we are the many and they, the elite, are the few, how come they're still in charge? So this isn't the BBC. This isn't mainstream spin. This is your show, your voice, your fight. Let's get talking. Do you agree with the sort of things I'm coming out with tonight, or am I talking tosh? Which one of those subjects do you want to pick on first? You dictate the agenda. Start wherever you want. I made a brilliant broadcast last night, but that broadcast will probably get pulled down because I dared to use the R word. I'm not going to mention it again, right? Thousands of people downloaded it on Twitter, Facebook, and on here on YouTube. But why are we denied our voice? Why do the Guardian reading, lentil burger eating morons control the whole agenda. Got a view? Let's hear it from you today. So this is about two-tier Britain. It's about us, like I keep telling you, versus them. It's no longer left versus right. It's us against the political elite or the elite. And Britain is divided. UK politics has never been like this. We've got mass government failure. Where's our cultural pride? We have got an immigration crisis. Why isn't Starmer declaring a state of emergency? I'll tell you why. Because he knows that'll be the fast route for him to leave Downing Street, probably by the rear door. He can't stop the boats. He's trying to stop free speech. The BBC is full of bias and are basically just his mouthpiece. It's massive political betrayal by Labour, and the Tories aren't much better, let's be honest. But we need to fight back now, don't we? In an intellectual way. Here's your UK news. Let's talk about British culture. We're dead busy talking about every other culture, and diversity is our strength. How about talking about her being a true Brit? So I'm pulling back the curtain on two-tier Britain, a country where the political and establishment elite are thriving, where we pay for it all, but they make the rules. And then, of course, we're expected to live by them, but they're not. Where you're made to feel ashamed of your flag, where a girl gets chucked out of school for going in a Union flag dress, where your history is constantly framed within, well, you were the slave trade. What about stopping the slave trade? Oh, no, we're not going to mention that. Where your culture is looked down on. Where when local, real, working class people speak, the BBC carve it up to make them look racist or bigoted. They don't listen. They have every form of diversity in their audiences, apart from the true white working class. Billions are spent on broken promises. Sound familiar, Keir? While the boats keep coming, the gangs keep thriving, and people like you and me get pushed to the back of the queue. I'm asking you, why does the BBC ignore your voice? Why haven't they talked about how the people of Nuneaton are feeling? Because it upsets their cafe latte drinking, let's have avocado on toast view of the world. That's why. But then they ignore our voice, but they want to kill free speech. The next thing is, I'm going to talk about this on Wednesday, they want ID cards to keep us in our place. The people in power always just protect their own. So it isn't about politics. It's not about Labour. It's not about Conservatives. This is about the future of our country. It's us versus them. Do you agree with me? We are the many. They are the few. So how the hell are they still in charge? Thank you very much indeed. Superb. 12 likes so far. Hundreds of people watching. That's what I like to see. Let's get to you and your views. Don't forget, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe to Jon Gaunt TV. It's on YouTube. That's the best way to keep in touch with what I'm doing. It's free. And I'm delighted to say we've just gone past 4,000 subscribers. It's nothing compared to some of the big YouTubers. This is just for YouTube, but it's a massive step forward for me. So thank you for that. Right, here we are then. Gregory Galvin says, evening, John. Evening, make a comment. John, sad news about Mr. Whale. You took after him in many ways, I felt. Well, no, I didn't. I did know James. I thought he was an excellent performer, but it's not true to say my act is anything like his. It's not. His was a different act and a very good act. He was very good at it, and you don't stay at the top for that long. And it's a tragedy that cancer's taken him. My thoughts are with his family, but I'm not a James Whale. I'm not. And I'll tell you more about that on another day when it's more respectful. Over the past decade, it's only got worse, John, and worse. Immigration mainly, but the UK as a whole. I'm starting to think it's not going to change. Well, I've got to say to you, Gregory Galvin, on YouTube, that's how I was feeling this morning. I was quite down about everything. we'd had this tremendous show yesterday. Just brilliant, brilliant numbers. People had donated. It was great. And then I woke up this morning and the song remains the same. The same people are still in power. And Starmer spends another £100 million of our money on bullshit. He's got to give most of it to France. That's not going to stop the gang, stop the boats. The only way to do that is to declare a state of emergency, put the army on the beach at Dover, although I'm now getting to the stage where I want to put them on the beaches of Calais and Dunkirk. We did it before, we can do it again, and put the Navy in the Channel. Anybody who tries to get in illegally, we take them straight back. The ones who are already here, we've got to process them quicker, and we've got to boot them out. All the foreign criminals, they should go on day one. I was delighted to see Farage was talking about that today. He's the nearest thing we've got to somebody who speaks our language. But even he doesn't do it completely, does he? And then there's Ben, of course, coming up on the sidelines as well. Your views count. Let's hear it here tonight, what you think. And I just think where we are now, something's got to give. The coverage of Nuneaton has been shocking. It seems as if they're protecting the two people who have been charged and have been to court. They haven't been found guilty yet. They haven't even had a trial. I accept all that. But they're getting more protection than our women folk. How can that be right? That's Gregory. I've just done you. Carl Sharrocks says, send Starmer to the tower. Which tower? Eiffel Tower. That's where I'd send him. Mainstream media is the true enemy, says Peter. It's part of the enemy, Peter. Definitely. Definitely. I've worked for them. I know what it's like. I know what they do. If you've got a left-wing view, you'll get a much more sympathetic hearing on the BBC. If you're of the right, they'll do everything they can to make you look like a see you next Tuesday. It's what happens. It's what happens. I'm telling you. And that's got to change because the BBC should have all political views. Well, maybe not Hamas narrating documentaries. Maybe that's going a little bit far, BBC, for balance. But do you see what I mean? I'm being sarcastic, by the way. Where are we next? Sir Colin Winfrey Ratcliffe reposted the stream. That's a big, long name, my friend. But there you are. Thank you for reposting. If you want to do that, it would help. So please do. Coventry Live, arrests for young boy wrapped in Coventry. I don't even know what that means, Maggie. Coventry Live, arrests for young boy wrapped in Coventry. I don't understand what that means. Coventry Live is the Coventry Telegraph. Is that what you're talking about? But I don't understand the rest of it. Maggie, write it again and try and make it so I can understand it. I'm very simple. I'm not one for wearing a tinfoil hat, but looking at Europe and the US before Trump, I only think this invasion of fighting age men must be the ideology of a group of people so high up. We just don't know, says Gregory Galvin. I'm going to talk to a terrorism and security expert on Wednesday. I'm doing a pre-recorded interview with him. And he was saying, I'm not going to say who it is. He was saying a similar thing today. And he said MI5, MI6, MFI, DFS, whatever they're called, they must be worried about this. All of these people coming in of a fighting age. And then I made the point, and I'll make it again when I interview. What if it suddenly kicks off somewhere, which none of us want, and one of those guys gets attacked or even killed? Do you think those people are going to sit back and allow that to happen? No. I think it's going to go up the flagpole. And then I think we've got a problem. Then we've got a problem, which is why Starmer needs to deal with it now. He should be in Nuneaton today. He should have been there yesterday, and he should be talking to the people. Just with the migrant hotels. Has he been down to Canary Wharf? Has he been to Epping? Has he been to any of the places where this is happening and talked to the ordinary people? No. Why? Because he's shitting bricks. That's why. Because of what happened to him in Southport. But he's the leader, so he should be. But it's not just him. The whole of the elite, they're cowards. And they always get the working class to fight their wars. Look at Tony Blair. Go back to any war you fancy. It's usually the working class who are slaughtered on the battlefields. It's not the boys from Eton, is it? Have you ever listened to the lyrics of Eton Rifles? John, question. Why can the police ban Canary Wharf protesters, but not the pro-Palestinian protesters, says Joss P. on YouTube. They're in London every week for years, which have been much more damaging, including horrific chants. You make a great point, Joss, but I'm going to refer you back to my previous answer, at the risk of sounding like one of those Burks in the Commons, because the BBC and the elite, they listen to the lefties. They don't listen to us. How come those women outside Epping and the hotel and those same other women outside Canary Wharf, they're just ordinary women, just normally. I can't recall seeing any masks on them. And then the Antifa mob turn up and they're all masked up. They've all got balaclavas on. Why aren't the coppers saying, get those masks off or get lost? If you want to protest, that's fine, but you show who you are. You have the courage of your convictions. And if you look at those protests and if you look at the fights and the semi-riots, you will find that it's the left-wingers, it's the Antifa hate mob, oh, be kind, who have got their faces covered. Am I right or am I wrong? Why haven't the BBC done something about this? Why haven't the BBC done a news report saying, how come all these people keep turning up at the protest, then a few minutes later there's trouble? How come they're all masked up and the coppers don't say anything? And how come they've all got exactly the same banners, professionally made, I would humbly suggest, by the Socialist Workers' Party? Who's dishing them out? How is this right? And then you've got ordinary working class women who are scared, and it'll be happening in Nuneaton soon, who are scared for the future of their children, and they're demonised. Well, I don't think the women who are protesting outside Epping, the hotel, the Bell Hotel, or the women in all the other cities in this great country of ours, or in Nuneaton when it happens, I don't think they're the problem. I think the Antifa left-wing mob are, because they want to destabilise the country. And I'll tell you something else. As I keep saying, Keir Starmer, can you tell me that everybody in that boat, you know their names, you know who they are, you know where they've come from? Answer, no, would be the answer, because he can't. How does he not know that China or Russia or one of our other enemies, a Muslim state, for example, aren't sending in sleeper cells to attack when the time comes? You might say, Gaunty, get your tinfoil hat on. You're going into conspiracy territory. Am I? When they get a more sympathetic ear than decent people. See, this is part of what I'm saying in my agenda tonight. Why are our voices not heard? Why aren't they? Why are they only interesting the ones who want to slag off our country? The PLO, not PLO, what they call Palestinian supporters, the Hamas sympathizers. They're always on. You don't ever see many Jewish people, do you, talking about Israel or talking about their people who are being kept hostage? No, because in the BBC's eyes, they're the enemy. I find all of this bizarre. I find it all bonkers. Why did the BBC today have the absolute temerity to put a video up to illustrate the fact that Starmer's giving this money to France, but it was full of women and children? Please tell me, am I being totally biased here? Because I didn't know whether to say this tonight, but then I thought, no, some picture editor has found that, and the editor of the programme would have said, yes, that's good, let's use that. Surely somebody in the BBC said, well, that's not really representative of what's going on. It's mostly young blokes who are getting in those boats, isn't it? But they have the brass neck to do it on their main news. And now free speech is going to be attacked. Not left-wing free speech, our free speech. When we say, I don't agree with what Starmer's doing. I've had enough of immigration, legal and illegal. I don't want any more. I don't actually hold that opinion, but some people do. Are they going to be allowed to say that? No. They'll end up in prison like Lucy, won't they? And anybody who's not quite got the vocabulary, the eloquence, the dexterity within their language, they're the people who are going to get locked up, not the Antifa mob who are shouting to housewives and Jewish mums and mums who are worried about their children and their daughters. Fascist scum, get off the street. Doesn't make you a fascist because you're worried about your kids. Peter says that was a very good question, Joss. Thank you very much indeed. Right. If you're going to have conversations on your own, do it somewhere else. Don't do it within my chat. It gets on my nerves. Good evening, John, says Dark Angel. Good evening, Dark Angel. Of course they don't care about us. We're no use to them or their agenda, says Denise Deacon on YouTube. I don't actually know what their agenda is, though. What I know is it's going to destroy Britain as we've previously known it. It's already destroying it or destroyed it. You're right. I agree with you, Denise. I agree with you. By the way, I haven't had any donations tonight. Come on. Make a donation. Just click that little sign at the bottom of this YouTube video and donate anything that you fancy. A few quid here, a few quid there. It all helps. It might be for the Jon Gaunt Freedom Fund, the way we're going. Also, you could go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt and donate there. Because tomorrow is the reckoning day. So for me to have any money next week, I need you to do this. If you can. If you think it's crap, that's fine. Someone is trying to recall Parliament over the immigration issue as we watch this. Yeah, but it's not going to happen. There's no way Keir Starmer's going to allow it to happen, Dark Angel, but it should be recalled. We are needing a state of emergency where we can stop all immigration overnight, close hotels, army on the beach, navy in the channel. That's what we need to do. He hasn't got the backbone to do it. Tracy Gaunt, great surname, says, I love my flag. I'm proud to be English. And so you should, Tracy. And you shouldn't feel ashamed of it either. But that's what they want you to be. They're trying to put you down constantly. Greg Galvin says there's just too many people who still believe the MSM. Yeah, but let's not attack them. Let's not criticize them. They just don't know any better. Because the MSM is all pervading, isn't it? And their attitude of the uber liberals is all pervading. That's what I'm talking about tonight. We're the many, they're the few. How come they get away with controlling the agenda, making the laws, deciding what can and cannot be said, and freedom of speech and the rest of it? Why? How? It's not democracy, is it? And they all think the same. If you ever watch any of these political programs, they're all basically saying the same. I used to say when I was on the radio, you could hardly put a poppadom between them. I'm correct, aren't I? I am correct. Freedom of speech is a God-given right. Well, it might be, but it's definitely a human construct, and it's the way they're controlling you. Yeah, yes, you and JW very similar. Oh, you're talking about James Whale. We're not similar, and I think he wouldn't be happy if you said that. Listen. He's gone. He's a great man. He's a great man. And he had a great career and he was very entertaining, right? That's it. Let's move on if we can. J-Dub says it's Advance UK all the way for him. Well, good on you, my friend. What's this say here? Why chat so slow? What on earth are you on about? I'm taking the conversation as we move along. I didn't know about this, Maggie. She says somebody, a boy has been raped or sexually assaulted in Coventry, reported on Coventry Live. I haven't seen that. There was something in the Sun this morning, but I don't think that was the case. You're getting on my nerves, J-Dub. J-Dub, the whole idea of this, it's a democracy. So you don't just keep typing rubbish, right? Even if you think they're great salient points, it stops other people getting on. So back off now. You've had a lot of comments tonight. Now back off. Thank you. I'm not falling out with you, but just be fair. until we get a proper phoning going. Just be fair. Jackie Ward, how can the ordinary man or woman stand up and say their piece? They're immediately accused of being racist and inciting violence. You're right. Freedom of speech is gone. That's how it feels. The fear of being arrested. You're absolutely right, Jackie Ward. People are scared of what to say. They are scared. Even me, and I've been in this business for years, I got to be careful. And like last night, like I say, my video had a tremendous response. But there are some people trying to say it was this, it was that. Because I dared to talk about a girl being attacked in Nuneaton. Because mainstream media's not talking about it. I even saw GB News. They moved away from Farage's press conference because he started to talk about it. It's not contempt of court to talk about it, as long as you don't obviously say these people are guilty, because they're not. They've not had a trial. And also the police. Who the hell are the police? Who the hell is Warwickshire Police to decide what information they're going to give out? That's not democracy. The police are there to police the streets and follow Parliament, who have made the laws. The police don't make the effing laws. This is overreach. And some people are saying, oh, yeah, but it's right. Well, if it's right, wait till it's you who's being nicked by RoboCop. It's just wrong. It's wrong. We have a separation of Parliament and the police, and long may it continue. Lily Cat Alderbury. I'm going on a protest on Saturday in Bournemouth. I've had enough. That's interesting, Lily. Is that the first one you've ever been on? Tell me. Comment again and tell me, because I find that really interesting. Maggie Young says, I'm marching silently in Nuneaton for my children and grandchildren. Is that the first one you've ever been on, Maggie? Because the thing that I'm beginning to realise is that a lot of people are getting kind of politically motivated by the migrant hotel story. J-Dub saying the chat's not working properly. I've never even heard of you, J-Dub. Why have you come on and just tried to wind me up? Shall I just... I'll take a vote in a minute. I might block him because he's getting right on my tits. Hamas are here without a doubt. I hope Starmer doesn't make them mad. It's not just Hamas, Dark Angel. Like I say, my security expert, and this man, ex-army, terrorism and security expert, it's surprisingly, he doesn't get on the TV as much as he used to. Oh, I wonder why. Would it because he's going against the mainstream narrative? He's saying it's highly dangerous. He's not saying all of them are terrorists, just like I'm not. I'm not saying all the people coming in are criminals or sexual predators. Of course they're not. There'll be a lot of decent people just trying to improve their lives. But we can't be sure. And that's why I'd like to nail Starmer. Please, Sakir, here's a boat with 80 people. Tell me which one of those you'd let babysit. Probably a bad example in his case, but you understand what I'm trying to say. And that's where we're being let down by the political elite. Security expert, Mike Yardley. Well, Charlie, you'll have to wait till Wednesday to find out. J-Dub, listen, I'm not going to answer any more of your stupid questions. I've asked you to be polite. Give other people a chance. But you're just trying to dominate. It's not going to happen. And my next step is I'll block you permanently. Why are people who are okay with the UK levels of immigration not asking why it's only young men, says Gregory. Good point, my friend. Lily, going back, you give me the answer now, Lily. You see your first demo. Hold on. I wrote a letter to the King today, blimey, expressing our desperation on these illegal migrants and free speech. It's a waste of time, I know. But if we bombarded him, who knows? I like your style. I like your style. Let's go to Stuck Farmer on, what's he on? Is that Twitter? Not sure. Parliament should never recess. It should be 24/7, 365 days a year. I'm not sure I agree with that totally, but they certainly don't need the amount of holidays they get. I'm not really into that. James Morrison. England, 20 years, maybe less, will be like mini Middle East. He won't be the race riots. It will be food, fuel costs. The stranglehold of the state that now are eroding our freedoms, family, its basic right to live in the UK, like the EU, will go bust. Paying for wars in Ukraine, etc. There's a lot of thoughts here, James, not necessarily in the right order, but thank you for them. A civil war looms. I hope not. The people cannot take the savage takedown of the people for the actors in Whitehall, always getting wound up now, who cannot stand the fact that Gaza is a genocide, but will jail those who say, yes, UK is broken, rotten to the core. Right, J-Dub's now trying to justify why he was being a moron. Lots of messages because I didn't think chat was working properly. That's all. Bye. Bye. Well, it obviously was. And I told you earlier it was. Anybody else want to comment? I'm going to finish soon. You've had 35 minutes, 36 minutes now. Anybody else think we can get the power back? Lilycat and Alderbury says, yes, it is, John. My first march. Brilliant. I admire you and respect you. And the same to Maggie Young. She says when she goes to Nuneaton at the weekend, it'll be her first march too. Anybody else going on one? Lauren, all young men getting off the coaches, wearing the same clothing uniform, all carrying the same brown envelope containing their orders. No women, no children. It's an obvious army. Well, I'll answer that, Lauren, to be fair to you. I saw that as well. They were getting off the coach, weren't they? 2:00 in the morning, so the British public didn't see them, I guess. They were all wearing the tracksuits and sweatshirts they get when they're taken to Manston, aren't they, to get processed in the beginning. The envelope will be, I suppose, all their free tokens for all the freebies they're going to pick up. And I don't pick on the individuals who have come here. But to me, that video of them going into that hotel summed up why our whole system is broken, completely broken. They get off a luxury coach. They go into a fairly luxurious hotel. It's not 5-star, is it? But it's a nice hotel. And then they're going to get looked after. And they've broken into our country. They're criminals. And there's 25,000. There was some Burke on earlier on GB News. He was saying, well, we've got the numbers down. Have they? Have they? And also, I wouldn't want anyone to think I'm not blaming the Tories as well. They created the backlog. We're in a terrible position, which is why I say state of emergency, stop all immigration tomorrow, don't allow anybody else in, close the hotels down, boot them out and put them into tented communities or warehouses, or RAF bases, they're not allowed to leave. We can't carry on with this idea. I also heard another guy who's on the BBC who's saying, well, we're really getting on top of it. And, they're no longer in the hotels. We've reduced the hotel bill. Just like I said they'd say that. But they've all gone into HMO, which I don't know about you. I think that's scary. Them being in houses of multiple occupation where they can't be kept an eye on, if they are balanced, if you follow what I'm saying, wouldn't it be safer to put them in old RAF bases, army bases, under lock and key? I don't mean locking them up into individual cells, but where they can't get out. Those army camps have swimming pools. They have recreational facilities. That's not treating them badly. Look how the French treat them. I've seen those reports on the TV. It's just, the whole thing is complete madness. And that's what makes you think and put the tinfoil hat on that there's an agenda at play. Surely not. But that's what it makes you think. The digital ID is the future chess move. You're right. That's what they want to do next. You're right. Lilycat sent me a couple of kisses. Thank you very much indeed. Fraser Ford has given me the claps. That's good to see as well. And James Morrison says thank you. I think because I answered his comment. That's all very good indeed. Well, there we are. Show finished. We've got to start the fight back. I don't mean start rioting. I don't mean physical violence. But what I mean is standing up for ourselves and saying this is our country. We're the majority. You uber liberals, you're the minority. Jackie Ward, look at it. Every day she does this. Sends me some love hearts. Thank you, Leslie. Superb. Yeah, but it's just mad, isn't it? It's just mad. what's going on. But have we been lazy and just allowed it to happen? I think the demos will get bigger. I think people are genuinely fed up. I don't think Starmer gets it. I don't think he understands what these, particularly the women, the working class women, are feeling and what they're expressing. And they're not far right thugs. They're mums. They're people like my mum, if she was still alive. I'm sure she would be out there. Yeah? Wouldn't yours? Maggie Young has given me the 5 claps as per usual. Thank you, Maggie. Right, we're out of time. Think about it. If you want to send me an email overnight, feel free. If you want to tell more people about the show, do that, please. Don't forget at the end of this show to retweet it, send it back out again. Don't forget to subscribe to my Jon Gaunt TV channel on YouTube. I'm hoping we get 20 or 30 signups on there, completely free. And if you'd like to donate a bit of cash, please do so. www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. They start at $5 a go, but if you could do that, it would really help. But also what would really help is you can donate here on YouTube as well. I might need it for me free Jon Gaunt campaign. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow when you see me, I think I'm shaving the beard off. I think it'll be off. I told you about that woman who said I look like Brian Cox. Out of Succession. Brilliant actor. Right, Labour lover he is, though, so I'm not sure. Maybe she was taking the mickey. I don't know. Oh, and by the way, if you're the couple who I met at the cricket the other day, why haven't you donated yet like you promised? And what about the cricket today? Well done to India. What a brilliant test series that was. Absolutely brilliant. Lauren says, yes, shave, in case anyone else thinks you're a lefty. Thank you, Lauren. Bye-bye. Right, I shall be back tomorrow at 6:30. Until then, if you've got kids, give them a kiss. Give them a hug. Hey, hey, hey. Don't forget to tell them you love them. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for spreading the word. All the best. See you later.